You all have had plenty of time to play through the latest story, so tonight we are going to spoil the Enclave. That and more on this episode of the Escape Podcast for Star Wars The Old Republic. Our broadcast hashtag today is EPC 383. And playing alongside me is Seema. Hi Seema, how's it going?
Max, it's going okay. We had a really fun night just now tonight in our ops team. We started out the evening by just doing Tomorrow's Courtyard on veteran mode, and then we went to do our regular stuff, which is Ravagers veteran mode. We're working our way through. So we spent our progression time tonight on Master Blaster, which was really a lot of fun because we sort of mapped it out and everyone had places to stand and to go to, and we were learning the dance. So we were getting a little bit further each time and wiping and coming back and doing the dance, which is kind of like the quintessential night of raiding to me. So that was fun.
Yeah, that was good.
And then what else have I been doing? Oh, I've been doing mostly Galactic Season stuff, and unlike you, who's been getting a lot more conquest because of it, I've been sort of getting same, even a little bit less conquest, because I kind of save back characters thinking, well, I don't want to do that today, because what if it's the PO for tomorrow, the priority objective for tomorrow?
Sure.
So, yeah. So I also think I'm not being quite as laid back about it as I had planned to. I still am kind of spending some energy, or I am spending some energy sort of worrying about where am I? Am I behind or not? And then I kind of just tell myself, take a breath. It doesn't matter because you're going to be close no matter what. And you can always pay credits or cartel coins at the end.
Yes, and we'll talk about the credit catch-up, which we learned about a little bit more this week too. Yeah, at the end.
Yeah, and at the end, don't do it in the middle or in the beginning. I mean, if you're going to do it in the beginning, just do the whole thing.
Yeah, if you're doing it because you're impatient and you want to just you just want to get the things, or you wanted to like be able to show stuff off, fine. If you're doing it because you think you need to like catch up halfway in the middle, don't. I think people are very confused about that, about where they should be catching up. I agree.
Yeah. So let's see, what else have I been doing? Our normal weekly MFN stuff. This week we did. What did we do this week? Oh, I might have had something to drink on Tuesday. That's what.
You did.
So
you
I
did
had
come
fun
into it, like announcing to everyone that you had been drinking half the day. So day drinking, coming into MFN that night.
Right. It was after 5 o'clock, but it's still daytime. 5 o'clock.
Yeah. That's something my old man used to say. It's after 5 o'clock somewhere. It's afternoon somewhere. Grab me a beer.
So yeah, having a good week. We had our first day of really summery weather here. It was like really summery, like high above 80 degrees, and it was very humid. So, but it's very cold. I have like 2 sweaters on right now, so it's back to regular weather. But yeah, and everything's so green right now, so that's awesome too. So let's see. I think that's all I'm ready to say. What about you, Max? How's your week gone?
It's been great. I'm still doing all the things in Galactic Seasons, and now that I think about it, now that I just said that, I'm not angry about it today. I don't feel, I don't have like burning rage inside me, or like, grinding boredom over doing it. So I don't know, maybe I'm getting used to it and like getting into a groove, and it's like growing on me. I still wish I didn't have to do it every single day, but I've been doing a lot of things in a lot of other games. I've been doing a lot of game playing. Well, I don't do anything else. I don't watch TV. I haven't watched any of Bad Batch yet because I'm trying to get my daughters to watch it, and they're not into it just yet. I'll get them there. So I haven't like watched anything. I haven't done anything else except play games. I have played a lot of games. I've played a ton of Star Wars. I bought 250 million credits worth of legendary embers and have made it almost all back in making augments out of that stuff now, and still have a bunch to go through. So I've been doing that. I've been going through, rotating through 8 characters, running crew missions to get the scavenging materials and some of the mission materials that I need to make the augments too. I'm doing a bunch of that. I've been doing my Galactic Season stuff every single day. I've been leveling up some of those old characters that I pulled out of mothballs, as I said, pulled them up from the minor leagues. So ton in Star Wars. Outside of Star Wars, I played all of Mass Effect 1 in the last week. So
Wow.
I did that. I had never played the Mass Effect. I always meant to. I never got around to it. I've never been a single player game player all that much, but I played all of Mass Effect 1 in the last week. I also did finish the entire current expedition, which is almost like a Galactic Season, but this one was much shorter. It was just a 2-week window that you could do it in, and I did it all in just basically in about 3 or 4 days of No Man's Sky expedition, because the end reward for the No Man's Sky expedition was the Normandy from Mass Effect. So it was a kind of whole Mass Effect tie-in. Makes me sad that, and I didn't think about it till after, that we don't have a Mass Effect tie-in in Star Wars: The Old Republic, like as a little toy, one of those little toy ships that we can get as a pet. We should have that as the Normandy. I've got the Normandy that I can use on any of my game saves as a frigate for my freighter in No Man's Sky now and forever. The actual Normandy, and says Normandy on it. It's an exact model replica of the Normandy. Don't have that in Star Wars. Guess we can't. That's why we can't have nice things, because of LucasArts or whatever is holding us back. But anyway,
The man.
it's holding us down. The man, it's boss man. Just gotta fight the boss. Tune into the pre-show if you want to figure out what I'm talking about. So I've been doing a lot of those kinds of things, bouncing around in a few different places, but still getting it all done and having a fine time. I do
But
log into about six MMOs a day. So there's about that too for daily rewards.
you made me realize that, like whether something is a grind or not is really a state of mind. Because I was getting ready to do some. I re-rolled one of my dailies, and or maybe this was yesterday, but my second one, I did 4 quests on. One I had was 4 quests on CZ-198, and then the other one was 75 insectoids, and I did CZ-198. And then I said, "Oh man, I don't want to go kill 75 insects. I'll do it later." And then I thought, you know what? That's going to take like 10 minutes
Yeah.
on Tatooine.
On Tatooine. Tatooine is so nice for it.
Yeah, and it was just like 10 minutes of playing a game. Why am I sighing?
Yeah. Yeah, if you need, well, I should not tell you this, because now you're going to be in my way when I go there every day. But it's Outpost Largona from the Republic side. It's the Jundland area, just north of the Republic flight point in Jundland. There's it's two large buildings in a whole zone filled with Geonosian style.
I mean, I gotta say, the last time I was there were like 6 other people there, and there were still plenty of bugs.
Still plenty, and they respawn fast, and they're at least in groups of, they'll be like in groups of 3, and then a 4th or a 5th will get added to the group when you aggro them, taking down big stacks of them so fast you get both the planetary rampage at the same time. You'll hit conquest target, and you're getting your galactic insectoids done. Great place for it. So yeah,
I just get my mild annoyance from above, and
yeah. There's a reference. Seema in her healing spec still loves to throw down the death from above, and we said you putting that death from above. She said, well, it's not really death from above. It's more like paper cuts or a mild annoyance from above, or something like that. But who knows? But
when I'm out in the world, I stand in front of Shay, and then I do it, and then like her little circle's in there, but I don't see it.
But
she's really the one killing it.
But we wiped on Torque at 0% one time tonight, where Seema had done her annoyance from above, we
We're one paper cut away.
we're one paper cut away. It said 0%, so I mean, he probably had like 7 health or something. And he hit the last console and was still at 0%. So that was whatevs. All right, so that's what I've been doing. The tons of all the things. I don't know what else I meant to say during that segment, but I don't know. Go buy augments off the GTN. Well, let's see what's going on in the news.
Now, an Imperial News Network report.
First up in the news, we did get our post that talk. We did get our post that talks all about credit catch up. Some other time I will show off the fight instructions. I had that loaded up on a side screen. The fight map that we're using for. I'll show that in post show. The fight map that we're using for Torque. But in the news, yes, dev tracker. There's only a couple things in there. One of the key things, though, is the credit catch-up has sort of been announced and described for how it's going to work for Galactic Seasons. Read through the whole post. Read through it twice. Don't post to the comment thread before you read through it, because the last 3 comments I read earlier in the day were like, I logged in on a separate server and it's not even, I can't even use the credit, so it doesn't even work. Friday the 28th goes live. Friday the 28th says it right there, folks. The stupid thing is broken. Figures, BioWare, good job. Yeah. So it's a little bit complicated in how it sounds. It won't be as complicated in practice. The way it's going to work is starting Friday the 28th. Each day, they'll add a day to what you can use to catch up. So on the 28th, you can only catch up 1 day. On the 29th, you can catch up 2 days. On the 30th, you can catch up 3 days, all the way until they have 95 days that they've gone through. And then you can use any of those 95 catch-ups through the rest of the season. You don't have to use them on the first day. And each of those catch-ups has a cost associated with them. And those catch-ups are not associated with the day, they're associated with the order in which you use them. So if you use a catch-up, you'll pay the first rank of catch-up cost. And then if you get 3 ranks naturally, and then use another catch-up day, you'll pay the second catch-up day cost. We have a listing of what all of those costs are going to look like, and we know what the cost will be for all 95 days because it's a geometric progression. It is not an exponential progression, as they say in the post. It's not exponential there, folks. The math, science, boom, roasted, whatever.
Roasted.
But anyway, but as Seema has said over and over, and as I completely agree, don't catch up just to catch up until the end of the season. Wait. I mean, unless there's something you really can't, you really want, like what's next up for me? Succulent beetles. Unless you really want those succulent beetles today, and you want to pay the catch-up cost to get those succulent picolette beetles, wait, because you don't know how much you're going to play, and maybe you'll play enough to like not need any catch-up.
I mean, 5 months is a long time.
Right. If you do start using the catch-up costs, say you wanted to just use credits to get, and you can only get 95 levels. You can't get 100, so there's 5 that you're going to have to do some other way anyway. But if you wanted to use it for all 95 levels, this is sort of what it looks like. It's 175,000 credits for the first day. It's 500,000 credits for the second day. It's almost 1 million credits for the third catch-up day that you might try to use, all the way until day 95, which would be 162 million credits to catch up for your 95th time. And then if you used all of those catch-ups all at once, say you waited, because you have to wait 95 days from Friday, from tomorrow, before you could even do it, 6,238,000,000 credits worth of catching up that you could exercise. But why? Why would you do that? Because you're going to play, right? We're all playing. Going to play. We play. Let's play the game. No one should ever pay that number of credits because you can't even pay that for 95 days. The only people who would ever pay that much would be people that like purposefully don't play, or maybe like on a second account that you purposefully never log into, so you're not even getting like the weekly login reward or something. I don't know. But yeah, so that's kind of how it's going to work. So
So I just want to make sure I understand for myself. If I play almost to the end and say I'm on like level 91 and I have 9 more to go or 8 more to go, I can buy the first 8 levels with credits.
You can use 8 catch up. You can use 8 catch ups. Yes, and then it'll
I don't know.
be
Like the cartel coins seem like a better deal.
well those
Which would
8.
be
So that here I can tell you how much that 8 levels would cost you. We can just look at the spreadsheet right here. 14 million. So for the first dozen or so catch up levels, I would say use the credits, and then after that, you may break towards cartel coins being a better deal.
yeah. That's a good point. Right. So like if you only need 4, then pay credits.
Yeah, absolutely. If you only need 4, you're only a couple million more credits worth. 2.9. So 3 million credits to get 4 levels, the first 4 catch ups. So chat room is saying, wait, so I'm confused. If I have some days, do the catch ups count from the days I don't have or from the beginning of the calendar? The days you don't have. So if you're at like here, see, I'm level 39. So level 39. Once those catch ups start happening, and it catches up to where I am. You need to wait for it to get past where you are also. So I would need to wait 40 days and stop playing right now before I would have a catch up level associated with me. Well, but so Galahad, you won't be able to catch up beyond where people could be naturally right now. But once that the 95 days passes, then you will use a catch up level to go to if I want to jump ahead to 40, I'll only pay 175,000 credits. I don't have to go back here and figure out what the 40th catch up would be, which is 42 million credits. No, it's catch up number 1 will cost you 175. The first time you press the catch up button with credits, well, it'll be 175,000 credits. The second time you catch up with credits, it'll be 500,000 credits.
Can I use this catch-up system to tell me how far behind I am of the leading?
Yes. Oh, that's interesting. Yes, you will be able to, because for the next 40 days at a minimum, the current no, you will not.
I mean, the game must know, right?
The game must no, the game won't know, because it's going to start counting from 1 on Friday. So here's the thing: I can't use it.
Okay.
I can't use it for 40 days because I'm already at level 39. What level of Galactic Seasons are you at?
I am level. Where am I? I'm level 27.
Okay. So if you stopped playing now, in 28 days, you would be able to start using catch up.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean that you should, that the max catch up, the max anyone is at that point is 28. No.
But would I only be able to use
people will be at level 60.
But how many levels can I buy at that point?
Just 1 until the next day.
Okay.
And then
I gotcha.
after 95 days, then you'll be able to buy any of the catch-up levels that you could possibly, and it will stay at that 95 level for the rest of the season, available to everybody. All right.
This is one of those things that's not as complicated as it sounds.
It will become much more apparent once it starts catching up, and once it starts happening, and you start to see it on your screen, but not until then. And in 95 days, it'll be very apparent to everyone because it'll be fixed in the same for everybody.
I'm just letting everyone know now, if they ask me in Discord or Guild Chat how this thing works, I'm going to say, I know, right?
So that's that. Probably spent more time on that than we needed to, but that is a thing. So, what else we got in the news? One other kind of cool thing.
So we have an interview with the writer of the short story we had recently. Her name is Caitlin Sullivan Kelly, and she's a game writer on Star Wars: The Old Republic. And there's an interview with her, and it's pretty interesting because she talks about things like the difference between writing the short story that she did and doing the writing pieces that you do for a Flashpoint. One of the things she points out is when you're writing a short story, you 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 direct it way more. Like when you're writing the Flashpoint story, you have to take into account different responses that players might make and the choices they make and the choices they've made in the past, which, I mean, we're all familiar with that, but it's interesting to hear her talk about it. She's also talked about how she likens writing a codex entry to writing a little story, which I thought was a perfect little gem of info right there.
Mm-hmm.
She's also the person who worked on the story part of all the Ultimate Swoop Rally stuff. So that's an interesting piece. Yeah, and then has some interesting comments to make and sort of, about Malgus, which I'll let you divine from reading it. Because I mean, I know we're going to do some spoilers later on, but she talks about she doesn't talk about this, but she alludes to maybe even beyond Secrets of the Enclave.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that fits right into what we're going to talk about in our segment tonight, which is really kind of cool.
Yeah. So I recommend it. It's a short read, but I think they're getting better at this interviewing thing.
I think they are, and I bet that's Daniel, and I bet these
Yeah, it
pictures are
I
from
bet you're
Daniel
right.
as well. And some of the this looks like art, story
Yeah.
art. Both of these look like concept art. Really, actually, really nice concept art. Now I
Yeah,
want
they are.
that
Beautiful. I know.
on my wall.
I want that on my monitor. I want that on my monitor.
Yeah, exactly. So that's it for game news. Guild and community news. We got something big coming up tomorrow night, don't we, Seema? What do we got coming up tomorrow night?
Mega.
Mega. Friday. You have to
So
get tickets
yeah,
for the seat, but you'll only need the edge. To buy the whole seat, but you only need the edge.
So this month's mega is tomorrow night. Tabitha, Lucy, Marcus have been working on it. It's when we do Where in the Galaxy is Seema San Diego, which means that you will be given clues, and it's basically you just have to come. It's good. You'll be given clues, and you basically go through the galaxy, and at the end of the night or at the end of the event is when you find me where I am. So I get to like just hang out and listen to everybody struggle.
I found Seema. Do I win? I found it right there. Right there. Oh wait, it's tomorrow. That is kind of cool. That is one of our 4 Friday events that rotate every Friday now. We've got a ton in AIE that goes on Fridays. So our greater guild continues to do really cool, fun things, including
Stop poking me.
and not
Stop
touching
it.
you. And then touching you.
Okay, thank you.
We have cool things going on across the guild. Fridays is probably our busiest day. We have something every Friday for Star Wars. We have ESO's Mandatory Fun Night is on Friday nights. We have our Alliance operation in World of Warcraft that's kind of open and other people can join is on Fridays. There's some Final Fantasy stuff that goes on Fridays. It's a packed schedule. And then we have other side one-off events once in a while that show up on Fridays as well, like Guild Wars Dungeon Nights. So definitely come join us on Fridays. Our guild Discord has all of that information, aie-guild.org. Link in the upper right. You can get to our guild Discord, see all those kinds of things. Another big thing that's going on right now that you probably want to pay attention to is in 4 days or so, we've got Burning Crusade launching for World of Warcraft Classic. our guild has moved. We've explained this, so if you're trying to find us on Pagel, we will not be on Pagel anymore. We are on Mancrick. Where is Mancrick's wife? I don't know, but we are on Mancrick, the server, and we've transferred our guild there. It is super busy server in a really cool way, and that's why we did that. And Pagel for the Horde side is dead. There's nobody left.
Right.
No one left. A lot of big things going on like that across the guild. And in the Nomads channel is where you'll find even the things that don't fit into the major MMO categories, like going and playing Mass Effect and Mass Effect Legendary Edition. I finished Mass Effect 1 this weekend. I will probably be playing a whole bunch of Mass Effect 2. No Man's Sky Expedition. If you want that Normandy in No Man's Sky, you do have 3 days left. You could, and that's enough time to actually do this expedition. You start a new character from scratch, you can go through it, and we'll give you a bunch of hints on how to do it quickly in the Nomads channel. So come play with us, aie-guild.org. Shout out to the chat room.
We also have a channel now for sci-fi and fantasy book chat. So if you're looking for, suggestions of books to read, or you want to share some thoughts about books you've read, we got that.
Yep. The Murderbot series is the one that's sort of under discussion right now. But we had a little mini book chat discussion about a week and a half ago. There was only a couple of us in there to start, but I'm sure it's going to sort of snowball from there. I had a fun time chatting with Langtheris about a whole bunch of sci-fi books in general. So I read a ton of sci-fi books. I am always happy to, so do a lot of us. We're always very happy to chat about those. And Star Wars books, I think, will be part of it as well, as we've had on the show. Shout out to the chat room. Thank you all. We were having some fun before the show. That's why we're running late tonight. We will have some fun after the show as well. You can bet. Thank you all for helping us out in there, and we will catch up with all of you after. But now we're going to talk about the Enclave, and I bet you don't know what drop-in I'm going to use to introduce it.
Bet you didn't see this coming!
All right, so let's kick it off with that. Bet you didn't see this coming. That is the voice of the character called Leah Nerez. And I got a tweet from Sunset Legacy on Twitter who said that they are pretty sure that that voice is done by Sumali Montano. We've talked about Sumali Montano before. She voices Shea Vizsla. She's an actor who does a bunch of really cool things. She's been in a bunch of stuff, but does a lot of voice acting in general. Definitely for video games and a bunch for Star Trek in particular. She was in the Picard series as Robot Girl's holographic mom.
Yeah.
That she talks to only via holograph because it was a simulation. Spoiler, sorry. But a bunch of other things that she's done as well. She did voice work in Fallen Order, voice work in the Spider-Man TV series, a lot of stuff in Star Wars: The Old Republic. So if that is her, I would want to get her on and interview her about it, but she's kind of serious business. I don't think.
Yeah, right.
She's a little out of our league, but that is great. And I have, as we went through and listened and looked at my playthrough, my video, which we'll go into a little bit, I was jazzed up again just about that character in general. And we'll get to it shortly here in a second. But so let me kick it off by saying spoilers. Spoilers from here on out. Secrets of the Enclave, Imperial story, Republic story, walkthrough on both sides. We're going to talk about the characters. We're going to talk about what happens. We're going to talk about what we think the implications of those things happening are. We're going to talk about secrets of how to get the achievements. We're going to spoil everything. You've had enough time. I know there's still some of you stragglers out there that haven't played through this yet. Too bad. This is yet enough time.
That's not on us.
Yeah, that's it's time is up. Time limit is up. So here we go. So the first spoiler I want to throw out there related to Leah Nerez, bet you didn't see that coming, is she's alive. Remember?
Yeah.
I don't know if you played through it or you thought if you played through Darkside on the Imperial, you had 2 conversation choices where you could try to kill her in the conversation choice. Seeing that conversation choice, I just assumed that she was dead. That you had the option to kill her and you could kill her. I watched the Darkside playthrough. 2 shots, Darkside choice, kill the Jedi. Nope again. So there you go. She is alive. She is out
Whoa.
there. I'm so happy about that.
What about Barden on the other side?
I'm pretty sure he's alive too. So he's the mirror on the Republic side.
I mean, he's a pretty great character also.
Yeah. Oh, he is. He's a great character because he not only hates Jedi, he kind of hates Sith too.
Yeah. Right.
All Force users are like a pain in his ass, and he's Imperial
Right.
Reclamation, which is a really cool unit. Imperial Reclamation isn't like a bunch of archaeologists. Imperial Reclamation is like, yeah, they're like a secret intelligence unit beyond that, and so black helicopter kind of operation. So yeah. So let's talk about the rest of the characters. Let's start there with the characters then. So who do we have?
Malgus.
Number 1, Malgus. This is we don't fight Malgus. We don't even see Malgus face to face. We see a vision of Malgus. Malgus isn't even here, but this is Malgus' story. Malgus is the reason we're here. Malgus is the reason for what's going to come next. Malgus is what everybody's talking about. Malgus. And I like it. And I think Malgus is one of the most interesting characters in Star Wars The Old Republic today. I really hope it goes further. And Malgus becomes even more than what he is right now. And I think that has potential. And maybe this is the point where we bring up that quote out of the interview with Caitlin, where she says, what? This is where she started talking about that she had to review some of her plot with Lucasfilm. So what does she say here? She says, when I had the idea for quite a story to tell, I wrote the story in a few weeks and incorporated feedback from the writing team and from Lucasfilm and then sent it off for publication. Taking my vision for Secrets of the Enclave, make it flash forward. But that she said something else about Malgus in particular. Didn't she say in reference to Lucasfilm? Where is that? Let me see further down. Derp. Republic side. Didn't I put it in the notes, the quote that's specific to that, didn't I?
I'm looking. Let me.
Come on, I prepared. Yeah. She said, since this flashpoint connects past events to future SWTOR narratives, I consulted with Lucasfilm Story Group, who were integral in helping us refine the details of Malgus's long-term plans about the plot's major beats and finer points. So in that parentheses there, she says, Lucasfilm was integral in helping us refine the details of Malgus's long-term plans. Wow. To my eyes, and I virtually could hear it through the text that Seymour was typing into Discord. Our eyes lit up when we saw that. Who knows? Maybe Seema's a Marilyn or whatever, and she's got a mask over her eyes, and her eyes never light up. Maybe she has no eyes. I don't know. But her virtual eyes lit up because if Lucasfilm is involved and Malgus has long-term plans, even just hearing that Malgus has long-term plans, that what I'm hoping, what that sounds like to me, irresponsible speculation, is we're not going to get an operation in a month where we kill Malgus. That's not long-term plans.
Right.
That's
how I took it too.
Yeah. I mean, I want Malgus for years to come. I want Malgus in this Malgus cinematic universe. I want this. I think that could be the case. I think Revan would be a great place for an Old Republic, cinematic universe to start. Malgus, I think, would be a great character to put into an animated series or something too. I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, now that we say that, I could totally see like going to Lucasfilms and saying, "Is it okay if we have an operation and kill Darth Malgus?" And they go, "Sure, knock yourself out."
So yeah, maybe, or maybe their integral refinement of the long-term plans were, yeah, you're gonna need to kill that character in the next couple months because that doesn't fit
Right,
into
because we don't like
what
him.
comes next.
Right.
So who knows? Maybe, maybe,
Maybe.
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 But Malgus's whole deal is he's off the leash, man. He is unchained, right?
Right.
So, so the story on both sides, it's very clear. It's explained to us multiple times on both sides that this is about Malgus moving on. He says within the Flashpoint, "I will never return to the Empire." So not only is he like unchained from Asina or the Emperor's control, which is either Vauron or Asina, depending on your story. Annoying. But not only is he unchained from the Emperor's control, which was his kill switch that he had a droid take out of him, and that droid shows up in the Imperial story. But he is done with the Sith. He is done with the Empire, is at least what he claims. He is off the leash. He is moving on, but moving on purposefully, not just retiring and moving away. In both of these stories, we hear two things. He's at the Enclave for a reason, and it connects with continuing plans that actually started in Osis. O Planet. Started in O Planet, in the library on O Planet with the Nostaral.
Osis.
Yeah,
Osis,
it was the library,
yeah.
the Jedi library on Osis, Nostaral encounter. Again, spoiler, Nostaral might be dead for some of you because of that encounter, but he takes a relic book from Osis at that time, and that either leads to or is part of or related to what he takes, which is assumed to be at this point some sort of relic from the Jedi Temple, the Jedi Enclave. So cool. That's Malgus. That's why we're here, and that's why we're super excited. What
And
about?
Malgus has tried to leave the Empire before,
Well,
but they reeled him back in.
well, he kind of tried to
Take
rebuild,
over.
take over the Empire. Yeah, I mean he was.
But he was building his own version of the Empire.
Yeah, he
so
was
it's not quite
done with the
same, but
Emperor. He was done with the Jedi, with the Sith Council, and he was gonna be a new empire, a rise from the ashes and be a new empire. Now
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if that's his
Yeah.
plans. Maybe it's
Yeah, I
like
don't know either.
third faction. Ooh, third
or
faction.
something like maybe he sees himself as like even above
Yeah,
faction squabbles,
yeah, above both the Empire and the Republic.
like a god.
See, I don't see him. I see him as much. I see him as tactical and practical, and
Yeah.
political. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, he's
I
always
wasn't-
been like,
Yeah.
equality and almost like, I mean, he's
Make the galaxy you want to see.
yeah. I mean, he's evil, but he's, but it's not chaotic, but what are the spectrums in D&D? Good,
Neutral.
evil, chaotic, versus what's
Order.
Order.
Or something.
Order. Yeah. What's
No.
the what?
I guess I should know this, but I don't.
Yeah, you're the D&D expert. The heck, man.
Yeah.
But whatever. He's lawful. Yeah, he's lawful evil.
Lawful.
That's what
Thank
he
you.
is. He's lawful evil. He's got a plan, and he's putting a structure in place, and he's doing some evil things to land it and get it there. I mean, he's definitely doing bad things, but what could end up is actually a really positive, good structure that he just feels that he's justified in doing what he needs to do to get it done. And maybe he, in some ways he's not wrong. Maybe he did bad things and he can't, he's still bad because he did those. But maybe his plan is good, which from an imperial perspective, from an empire perspective, I always thought it was good. because he was always like, no, what are you like oppressing the aliens for? We could get, there's like really good people and
We can
resources that make us
we can
stronger.
harness their power. Yeah.
Yeah, that they could add to what we're doing here. We would have beat the Republic by now if you weren't like squabbling amongst yourselves and being idiots. Join with me. And I was like, yes, I'm, Team Malgus. All right, so that's Malgus. Let's go through some of the other characters. You want to run us through the Imperial characters because you mostly played the Imperial side as well, right?
Right.
So on the Imperial
So,
side, who do we start with and who do we encounter?
well, we have Darth Rivix and Darth Krovos as our compatriots as we go in there. And two really good characters. I really like Darth. Well, we all know I like Darth Rivix. And then with the enemies that we meet are Captain Minor, Sergeant Korik, Lieutenant Osonu, and then the famous Liha Nerez at the end.
Yeah. So there's like the Republic squad that we fight of the three troopers. And then you get to the final encounter and it's the Jedi Liha Nerez. But then there's one other. Did you mention the other little
Oh, the med droid?
the med droid?
I forgot the med droid, yeah.
So that med droid, TL-30, TL-30, is the med droid that you saw in the cutscenes when Malgus encounters the Doctor and says, "Give me that droid." And, when he breaks out, when they're trying to fix him up, he says, "Give me a ship and give me that droid. I'm out of here." That's when he breaks his chains. And the med droid he grabs and takes with him is TL-30. So that's who that is. But yeah, Darth Rivix. So I've got my video up. They also directed the video of how Darth Rivix shows up. It like both the voice acting is amazing, but the directing of his looks. Watch when he gives you this side eye.
Does
right
not
here.
want Malgus's newfound freedom to become widespread knowledge. So, I suggested a more covert approach.
Look at that. Look at that little. Did you see that little side eye he gives you there? I suggested a little
Yeah,
more
it's awesome.
covert approach. So, well directed from a cinematic perspective and a great character. And I don't know where Rivix is going. I mean, what is your perspective on Rivix? Do you think that he's like on your side, or do you think that he's like got his own agenda, or what?
Okay, so his one of his things is that he has that charm thing that he can do, which is sort of like a magic spell, which is kind of interesting because on the other side, where there's Erin Lanier, who is a Force empath, which is her kind of little interesting thing. So they kind of both have little interesting things.
Yeah.
In the sort of emotional realm.
Yes.
Or in the persuasion realm. Kind of. Anyway.
Rivix is too pretty to trust, in my view.
Well, but his species has a thing where they can use pheromones or whatever to be charming to you.
Yeah. He is quite charming. He is quite the attractive man, if I do say so myself.
But to answer your question,
nothing
no,
wrong with that.
I do not trust him because that is what charm is for, is to manipulate you. So
yes. Yeah. Wow, you get a flirt option with Krovos as well. That's interesting. There's a couple interesting flirt options that come up in the story. There's one later on the Republic side that really surprised me, but we'll get to that in a second. So the second character you mentioned is Krovos. So Krovos shows up. She's on the Sith Council, but she was always kind of a pro. She was always kind of on your side. She's on your side in, there's that cutscene where you get to like, as the Alliance has its victory, you get like the post opportunity to talk to the Imperial troops. Krovos is like sort of pro Alliance leader and okay with you being separate from the Empire, and sort of always sort of been on your side. I like her.
And she fought side by side with Malgus, so she's sort of pro Malgus too.
Yeah, she's definitely pro Malgus.
She wants
And
to bring him back to the Empire, though.
some people were a little bit upset that, in theory, the Aaron Lanier connection to Malgus was supposed to be the central part of what brought everything sort of together at the Enclave. When you play through on the Imperial side, it's Krovos' connection to Malgus that manifests in the final phase of the story. And I heard a couple people say that sort of undermines the whole deal with Lanier sort of being the focus for that connection, which I guess it does, because that Aaron Lanier Malgus story goes way back. So that does undermine that a little bit, but I see how they wanted to mirror it, and you couldn't have Aaron in with you on the Imperial side, so they had to do
Here's my deal
something
with
else.
that. It's like I've given in to the Schrodinger's galaxy. I've decided I'm not annoyed by that anymore. It's a bunch of separate stories, and that's just how it's going to be.
Yep. Yeah, I think that is just how it's going to be, and
I think you said to me one time, it's like, you're the hero in your own story. They've
yeah,
taken that really kind of more literally than I've been thinking of it as, but I'm just like, okay, that's how it is now. So I'm not going to worry ever about things like is Krovos taking away from the pub side story, because it's not related.
right. I liked all the characters. I liked the even the squad of troopers. It's Captain Minar, Sergeant Korik, and Lieutenant Osonu. I had to like pause some videos and remember what I was seeing, to catch what
Yeah,
was going on there.
I was impressed with that.
They're all dead. There's no way for them not to be dead. In fact, you can even try to save. This is interesting. You can try to save Captain Minar until, Rivix is force choking him while you're taunting Leon Nerez over holocom. And when that's done, you can tell Rivix, hey, drop him, let him go, let the captain go, and Rivix breaks his neck, and it kills him. Even if you say no. Um, and then
Yeah,
you have the choice to sort of scold Rivix about that.
right.
Uh,
But I mean, just no another example of Rivix probably has an agenda. There was a
yeah,
reason.
yeah, he's got like his own. I mean, either he's just tweaking you, or wants to assert his independence, or he had some reason for wanting that person not to live, or I don't know. But
Yeah.
yeah, Tabby. I mean that was the deal, and you can really get up in his face about it, depending on the playthrough. In fact, I think I told him no too, and I know I was like, um, "Quit it, man!" That's not cool, man, or whatever I said. That was really mean. Let him go. There's Saras. I go, let him go. Snap. Let's back that up.
I told you to stop.
My sincerest apologies. I don't know what happened. He must have been too weak to withstand anything further.
Yeah. No, you did that on purpose. It's a,
Or yeah, I accidentally killed that guy.
oh, whoa, he must have been too weak to go on. It's not on me. There's, who knows? And maybe from a writing perspective, this could be a canard. It could just be like leading you down the path to think that like Rivix has got something else going on. Maybe he doesn't. But it's still, it's intriguing. On the Republic side, the mirror that you have going on with you, you have two people that come in with you. Those are Aaron Lanier and Arn. Arn. I didn't even realize his name. What's his last name? Is Paraloon? Paraloon? Arn. It's Arn. It's Arn. We all know
Yeah.
who Arn is. Arn. So anyway, Arn is there. Arn is Arning it up. I'm okay with Arn. I'm not a big Arn fan, but I don't hate him. I only think he's okay. Do you like Arn? Are you a big Arn fan?
I don't really get why Arn is here and not Tau.
Yeah, I don't either.
And they don't really say, they just say she's not here. And then also, well, I mean, I don't know if this, I don't know why they go alone in after saying, you know, Malgus is this great, powerful person. Are you sure you? And the point of them going in alone is that they almost killed him before, and I'm like, that's like you didn't kill him before.
Yeah. We failed before, but maybe this time it'll be different.
Don't worry about us. We failed before.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
So, yeah, I don't know. I think Arn's only okay. Aaron, I think is interesting. Aaron's a fascinating character.
Yeah, I hope we get more of her. I hope her whole thing about I'm not really a Jedi, I'm left the Order doesn't mean wander off and we never see her again.
Which they really played into in this story throughout, both in the beginning and at the end. So she's the main character. At the end, you get a couple Jedis that are sort of a part of a council. Here, I'll even sort of fast forward to that point in the video. This is where Tau shows up. Tau is there. Who else is there at the end? I wrote their names down. Saldarin. So Saldarin is there. That's Jedi Saldarin right there. And if you have a flirt option with Jedi Saldarin over Holocom. So let me back it up. It's because it's right in here. Nos Dural or whoever. I don't know who it is if it's not Nos Dural for you in the story.
Since we're discussing business that could affect our ability to rebuild the Jedi,
he introduces
I
them.
thought it best to invite some of the Order's most important representatives.
The Order's most important representatives.
Tau is eager to hear about what happened on Dantooine.
That I am. I'm sure it's quite a
Tau Adair is there. You say whatever you want. Good to see you.
Try to keep an open mind when listening to it.
Don't worry. Probably heard crazier stories from the old man.
Blah, blah, blah.
This is Master Saldarin. She's been instrumental in tracking down former Jedi and identifying potential additions to the Order.
Watch this.
I look forward to working with you. Someone with your particular skills and assets could play a crucial role in many of my plans.
I look forward to doing great things.
So your flirt options is, I look forward to working with you, if you know what I mean. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So it's like, what the
How
heck?
you doing?
It's like, like in the middle of this whole thing, with the Jedi Council, and you just got out of this fight over Holocom. You almost died. You're gonna turn on the charm,
like on a conference call.
And you're a Jedi, and she's like a Jedi leader. This is like way, way out of bounds. It's like not allowed at all.
This is scoundrel level player.
Yeah, exactly. That whole thing. Like, hey, how you? Oh, looking good there, Saldarin. I'm Darren to talk to you, and Darren you to have a drink with me, if you know what I mean. I'm pretty smooth there, aren't I? That was a good pickup line, I think there.
Yeah.
Saldarin, I'm daring you to have dinner with me tomorrow night. What do you think of that there? And I would use a southern accent if I ever tried to go to of course. I'll guarantee you'd have a good time too, without some red beans and rice and some I don't know. Some on the bayou. I do not know what I'm talking about. Please walk away slowly. I see you backing away. I do not claim you for that, because I would be scaring myself as well. Okay, enough of that. So you've got these characters on both sides. It's kind of a mirror on both sides. The story mirrors itself on both sides. You're there at the ruins. You're chasing this stuff down. We've already talked about sort of what the fights look like. The story, I think, is the interesting part. You're trying to figure out why Malgus was there. On both sides, you get to sort of follow his path through the ruins with your little team. So you've got like the two companions on your side. You encounter the Growl. So on the outside, you encounter the invasion. So whichever side you go in on, and this is sort of that two-side story that you were mentioning, Seema. You got to think about it from your own point of view. Whichever side you're on, the other side got there first. It's kind of annoying because it's not consistent, but you're on the Imperial side, oops, the Republic got to the Enclave first. If you're on the Republic side, then oops, the Imperials got to the Enclave first. So on the outside, you fight through just regular soldiers, which are holding down the fort. On the outside, we'll skip for now, but I was going to go into, but we're already way behind on time. There are a bunch of hidden achievements that are really cool. There's the things with like Old Crunchy and the pets. There's a way to get achievement. You got to do a whole bunch to get that one. There's easy achievements to get. There's hard achievements to get. Look up that stuff if you're interested. I think it's really cool. But the story I think is more interesting. That's what we're going after here. It's not really part of the story, but the first boss you fight was written apparently by Caitlin. She wanted some sort of encounter here, and there's a story behind the growl and why it's there and why it's important. My favorite part of it though was as we said, after you fight the growl on the Imperial side,
what are you doing down here, droid?
Mute this. The droid pops out of its mouth. It swallowed the med droid. So Malgus had the med droid. The med droid fixed up Malgus. He brought it with him onto the planet as some little bit of backup and support. It gets eaten by the growl, and Malgus just nopes out of there and doesn't care and leaves it. You take down the growl, and it pukes out the med droid at the end, and the med droid goes, "Woo-wee! Glad you guys came along." And she chats it up with you, and she's like, "Fine." And so what did you do? What was your choice here? Because you actually have a dark side choice. She kicks the dead growl in the face. Like, stupid thing, you swallowed me, you big jerk. But you get a dark side choice to like, I don't even know if you get dark side points for it because she's just a droid. Boy, that's bios. Yeah, it is a dark side choice to destroy her. You could cut her down. So the dark side choice is you destroy the droid, and out of her charred remains, pick out her memory core. The light side choice is she helps you. She gives you the download so that she can like kind of help you figure out where Malgus went. Either way, you get the data out of it to figure out where you're supposed to go next. Did you destroy the droid? Did you kill the droid?
No.
No. In fact, I invited her back to my ship and gave her a recording.
Yeah, the flirt option with the droid.
Stand in this escape pod. It's cozy in there. Hang out there. No.
But I mean, I do think that. Did it spread its arms when you went to get the data? I mean, that's weird.
I don't know what I don't know what it was doing. What was it doing there? Maybe it was a pat down. I did an ocular pat down on it. That's a Always Sunny in Philadelphia reference. Ocular pat down. Well, I did an ocular pat down. Sure you did. Anyway, you go into the ruins. That's where you get another achievement if you want, where you can, and the bonus mission where you can like be killing the consoles. The next major fight though is where you meet the squad. And on the Republic side, on the Imperial side, it's the squad we mentioned where you're fighting the 3 Republic troopers. On the Republic side, it's also kind of cool, and I did not. I had to go back through videos. I've got it up here still, don't I? Yeah. The Imperial side is very cool, and I want the backstory on who this Imperial squad is too, because there's a guy. So it's 3 characters on the Imperial side that's in their sort of squad that you have to fight down, and they are Sith Lord Zillis. She's got a speaking part. She talks to you, and you have a little bit of banter with her. And you get to talk to her afterwards. She dies by Aaron's hand in self-defense, but Aaron's lightsaber through her chest. So here, so she's on the ground. You're chatting it up with her again, as we said.
She won't make it. Not like she'd help us anyway.
So you can say, I'm gonna help
don't
you
have
out.
to die down here.
Don't
Help
die.
us find Malgus.
We'll help you.
Death is far more desirable, worm.
What a waste.
Oh. Huh. So wait, which? So one of the playthroughs.
Keep moving. We need to figure out which one.
So there, she just laid down and died on that light side choice. I think if you pick the dark side choice, where you're gonna like try to kill her, she leaps up from the ground, and Aaron Lanier ignites her lightsaber and sticks it through her chest. In self-defense, but still, it's Aaron that kills her, which I thought was interesting. Again, because there's this whole backstory about how Aaron's not a Jedi anymore. I mean, kick her to the curb because she doesn't even have the skills anymore, or whatever. She says that.
I thought they kicked her to the curb because she went out on her own.
Well,
and
that
did
too.
things. Yeah,
that was like
not because of her skills.
That was the council side. She's like, no, she's she took her ball and went home, so she doesn't get to play anymore. But then she says things like, I'm not a fighter anymore.
No, she's rusty for sure.
Yeah, I'm rusty. I'm not a fighter. But now here she is, like in all of the fights, obviously quick on the draw. All of her Jedi skills are still readily apparent. She has like the force, what do we call it? The force sensitivity or the
force,
empathy.
Force empathy.
She's like full on Jedi power,
Right. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, she basically went toe to toe with Malgus. I mean, it was back in the day, but still.
Yeah. So yeah, I think she's been downplayed from all sides. So yeah, that was interesting. But then the two others that you're fighting here, again, they're dead, so they don't really matter anymore. But they're pretty interesting because one of them looks like a bounty hunter, but his title is lieutenant. So that was the guy on the right there, and then this guy who's the captain, I believe. It looks like he fights with a lightsaber in one hand and a staff, like a metal staff in the other hand. I need a better video of this, or I'm gonna have to make my own video on the playthrough and zoom in. Because when he leaps in, it looks like he's two-handed, but again with a lightsaber in one hand and a long metal pole in the other hand when you're fighting him, which is a super cool look.
Yeah, it really is.
So if anybody's got a zoomed in view of that, send it to me. I want to find out more about that dude and that look and that fight style, because that was pretty cool. And then there's the final fight, right? There's the final fight on both sides, and then the final elements of the story on both sides. Why don't you remember what happened on the Imperial side? I'll switch back over to that. Because who do we fight on the Imperial side for our final fight? Leah.
I can't do the yes.
You can't
I thought
do
you
it?
were waiting. No, I thought you were waiting for me. Yeah, right. Nobody can do that.
But she has that whole energy and mood the whole time she's talking to you, which is again, it's just great. So well written character, but she's like kind of unhinged the whole time. Like here, let's light her up a little bit.
Indeed.
How dare you? I didn't do this. I found them like this. I guess Darth Malgus couldn't show any mercy to the rest of my team. Just like you.
How do you know this was
just like you? How dare you? These big, stupid, jerky, stupid dudes. I bet she just gonna lightsaber you in the face. She is awesome. And then at the end of the fight, like on the dark side, you say, I think one of like the dark side dialogue is like, it's so satisfying to cut down a Jedi. And she goes, you're disgusting. Just get it over with. But as we said, she lives. She's around. She does not. So Tabby, Leah lives. no matter what happens, she lives. You cannot cut her down on it. Like, if you take all of the dark side choices, you get 2 shots to try to kill her. She lives. I'm so excited about that. On the mirrored, yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say she's one of the reasons why I came to my decision to just not worry about the branching story anymore, because I fully expected when I played the pub side that I would find out what she was doing there, because I would see her side of it, and then when I realized, oh no, it's a completely different story over here, different characters and everything. That was when I just decided, okay, I'm either gonna be eternally upset about this, or I'm just gonna accept it and go forward.
Right, because like in that way, take it apart, take each story for what it is. We do get 2 separate great characters.
Yeah, yes, that's right. The character on the other side is great too.
Yeah, so here's Colonel Barden.
Found him to Emperor Valron, but I never dreamed he would go this far.
You know, good voice. This is where you get the reveal that he took a relic. You get to talk to him a little bit.
What do you mean?
He was controlled by our Emperor, compelled to carry out his orders. Malgus wanted to destroy those chains at any cost.
I was a little surprised that he bothered to divulge this much information to you and talk about Malgus being off the chain, because you still find out elsewhere as well. But I also don't like his beard, but those two things aside, yeah, I like him as a character. I like how bold he is. I like how he offers to let you surrender. You know, in a fight with him, he's got basically like 3 Jedi coming in his face, him against 3 Jedi, and he's like, "You're welcome to surrender and lay down your arms at this point." I'm like, bold move,
yes,
Colonel.
Yeah, yes.
And he is not afraid of you. He is not backing down, and he holds his own in a fight against 3 Jedi. You take him down, but yeah, he's cool. And he does not like Force users on any side. So yeah. So he does say he has admired some Sith, but certainly he does not like Malgus. He does not like Jedi. So yeah, another very cool character. And then you get the sort of like the final conclusion on both sides afterwards. On the Imperial side, the notable part, I think, of the conclusion is, I almost skipped over. You get the Malgus Vision on both sides before you get to the conclusion outside the Enclave. The Malgus Vision on the Imperial side is had by Krovos, because she has the connection to Malgus. She gets to talk to Malgus in the Vision. And this is where Malgus monologues a bit and says the whole thing about how he's off the chain. He'll never go back to the Empire. He is done. You could have helped out, Krovos. You could have teamed up with me. Unfortunately, you're going to die now because I was really hoping to trap the Alliance commander here, and I'm glad I did. Which I thought that was interesting. So he's really got it in for us as the Alliance commander. Maybe because he just sees us as a potential obstacle. But he also, this is where it just gets interesting in him telegraphing that he's really done with the Empire as much as he's done with anything else. So cool. On the Republic side, the same vision is held by and narrated through the Force connection to Aaron. And Aaron has a similar conversation, but Aaron's like, we'll track you down. And he's like, I hope you do, because that'll be the last thing you ever do. And it'll be fun taking you down.
Right.
But he has that same monologue about, I'm off the chain. I'm done with all of this. You are all, I'm now moving beyond all of you. Which is also
But not
cool.
until he says to, well, I mean, maybe you're going to get to this, but he says to her, she says, we found you or whatever, or you left so many clues or whatever. And he goes, yeah, I showed myself to everybody, but you're the only one who did what I wanted, which was to bring the Alliance commander here.
Right. so it certainly was, all of this was a trap for us, in addition to his objective of recovering whatever relic he was looking for as well. A trap for us, the player in particular.
Right.
Yeah. So that's, it's interesting.
So maybe that, like, I think Galahad early on said, he wants the Eternal Empire.
Oh, did I miss that? I missed Galahad saying that in the chat room.
Yeah, that was just in the beginning. But yeah, I was like, yeah, I mean, basically, if maybe that could be what he's after.
Maybe. And that, I mean, that would be a good jumping off point for what he could
his new
potentially do.
whatever. Yeah.
Maybe he could, maybe, and maybe if he doesn't take over the Alliance in particular, maybe he could sort of like step into Valkorian's role over Zakul.
Yeah.
Huh. Because there's a power vacuum there to some degree, and they're in a little bit of disarray. And maybe that's what Galahad meant, the Eternal Empire, not just the Alliance. Huh.
He says as a third faction. But also the Alliance kind of the kind of stuff he used to talk about too. It's like everybody's in it. Everybody, all species, all
using strength where we find it.
Strength.
I mean, he doesn't put up with weakness. I mean, he'll still cut down weakness and cull it from the herd, but draw from all sources, use the resources we have, call on strength where we find it. And then on the Republic side, we already talked about and showed off the flirt scene with the Jedi. Again, we didn't mention, but the third Jedi there, Vinu Tesh, is again really dismissive of Aaron Lanier. In fact, he gets a little snotty about it and wants to kick Aaron Lanier out of the meeting. And he says, "Before we begin, I must speak plainly. I don't believe we should include anyone in this meeting who's no longer part of the Jedi Order." He wants to
maybe he had a crush on her in Jedi school. And
maybe he did. Maybe he picked the flirt option a couple times, and she was like, yeah, no, Maneus is more my style or whatever.
Maneus.
So, but at this point, Arn jumps in, which I think was also uncharacteristic and dumb. Arn jumps in. And he's like, Lanier over here. We wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for Lanier. Shut up, Arn. What are you mouthing? You're not even a knight, and you're talking to like these Jedi masters, and like you've got some sort of sway in this conversation. Get on out of here, Arn. That's what I said in my head at that point.
It worked though. He's like, fine, she can stay. Also, Tao's like nodding at him.
Yeah,
that's my Padawan right there.
Good job, little buddy. You're really stepping up. I guess whatever. On the Republic, on the Imperial side, the interesting thing I thought, not much, but it was another chapter in the what side is Rivix on. You walk in late, and Rivix is already debriefing the Emperor, whoever the Emperor might be. In my case, it was Asina. Rivix is already spilling the beans and debriefing Asina, like he's got his own agenda, and like he's on a separate mission from you. And again, you can kind of scold him for this.
Difficulty of the path before you, Lord Rivix. I do hope you are.
And even Asina, that line there, the path before you, Rivix. What do you mean the path before Rivix? I thought this was like my deal. What is Rivix's path? That isn't like, Asina. I would get Asina on the phone there also. The phone. I would pick up the phone and I would dial the rotary to Asina. What's Asina's phone number again? That's what I would do. I would call her on the telephone and I would say, what is going on here? Because, what is the path before Rivix versus what I thought was my part in chasing down Malgus here. And this is where Rivix says, oh yeah, and I forgot to tell you, he took this book from Osis, and yeah, so there's more
But
going on here.
I mean, it's way more believable on this side because he's like, "Yeah, because I'm a lying liar.
Right.
That's why I didn't tell you."
It really does. Yeah, it works. Yeah, on the other side, it's Nostral going, oh, I didn't think it really mattered at the time. I mean, I saw him running away with a book, and I was like, whatever. And, you know, he's like, plays it off. And you don't expect that he's like lying or obfuscating anything. Rivix obviously seems like he was holding this stuff back. So yeah, I don't know. It's played up really well. I think the Imperial side hung together even better than the Republic side. I kind of like it better. I like the Aaron Linear angle, and I like her as part of the story. But I kind of had more fun with how the Imperial side's hanging together.
Yeah, I agree. Although I do like what's his name, the Imperial Reclamation guy on the other side.
Yeah, yep, I like him. I like the Imperial squad that you fight, and I like Aaron Lanier as a character, and I can't say that I don't. So I'm all for that. I'm all for this story content on both sides. I'm all in. This is some of my favorite story content so far. I'm a big Malgus fan as a character. Whether they take him sort of like in a tragic direction, or they take him in a the next big bad, or a new faction, or he has a multi-year story ahead of him, or whatever. I'm in it to win it. So. I don't know what I meant by in it to win it, but I'm all in. I chips in. Putting all my chips on the table. So yeah, cool. Malgus for me. How about you, Sina? You in it to win it as well?
I'm totally all in. I don't know that I'm as big of a supporter of Malgus and his agenda as you are, whatever his agenda turns out to be, but I do think he's a great character. But what I'm really excited about is we have such a fantastic array of supporting characters. That just tells me it's going to be fun no matter what.
Yeah. Yep. It is. And they're getting written well. The characters are getting written well, and our favorite Jedi is still alive.
Bet you didn't see this coming!
So there's that. All right. Well, this was fun to chat about, and we cannot get out of a podcast in less than about an hour and 15 hour, 20 minutes lately. And that was not the plan. So let's wrap it up for tonight. Seema, what do you say?
That sounds good.
All righty.
Let's do it.
So with that, we will kick our EPC 383 droid out of an airlock to get this version of the podcast, another long podcast, out to all of you. For podcast links, follow me on Twitter at MaxTheGray. And you'll see when we go live, and you'll see when the podcast gets published to all the feeds, which happen in all the places like newoverlords.com, YouTube/newoverlords, twitch.tv/newoverlords, and on Apple iTunes. Go give us a 5-star review on the Apples there. I think we got a 5-star review about a year ago, and I was so happy. I think we're like averaging 5 stars, but we only get one review a year. So I don't think it really plays into the metrics all that well. Don't you don't need to go put a 5-star.
Yeah, don't do that.
Anyway, our guild Discord for AIE-guild.org for AIE Guild. Do go there. That's why we do the podcast. So yeah, AIE-guild.org. There's the Discord link in the upper right. You can jump on our guild Discord. There's a SWTOR channel to talk to everything about SWTOR. There's an Escape podcast channel if you want to ask questions about what we talked about in general, or give us ideas of what you'd like to hear us talk about in the future. We would be happy to hear that as well. But all of the other game divisions are there for your use as well. Jump in, Starforge, Imperial, or Republic side. We will get you a guild invite, and we would love to have you, and we will talk to you soon.
Later, everyone.